We'll kick things off in France, where there was late drama for the US women. 0-0 it was after 90. It was a terrible game, but in the end, one moment of brilliance from Trinity Rodman proved to be enough to see Emma Hayes' side through to the next round of the Olympics as they would beat Japan 1-0 over the 120 minutes. And more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Sebastian Salazar joins us, as does Ali Krieger. Ali, that was it, wasn't it? That one moment of brilliance proved to be enough.
Absolutely, and that's all that it takes. Obviously, from a sluggish performance, like you had mentioned, the individual magic from Trinity Rodman, early or late in the first, overtime period, that was brilliant and really put the team through to the next round.
What's interesting, Seb, is that she, like many of her teammates, didn't have a very good game.
Yeah, I mean, that was the story of this one. Something Emma Hayes has been preaching since she came in was that this team needed to have more patience, especially against teams that were in a low block, that were more defensive, were less aggressive and less attacking. And that was definitely how Japan set up, especially early on today. The team was extremely patient. I don't know if you guys have seen this stat. It's been floating around. They completed over 1,000 passes today. That's more than any team in the last 3 Olympics or the last 4 World Cups. Now, not enough of those passes were forward, to your point, Dan, but I think a lot of that is down to how Japan played today. And look, it wasn't going to be as easy as the group phase, but let's be honest about how easy the U.S. made the group phase look, and against good competition like Germany and Australia. This was a step up. Not just as Japan, I think, better than anybody that the U.S. faced in the group. But this is knockout football, man. It's supposed to be cagey. It's supposed to be tight. So the fact that it went to extra time is not, to me, any big surprise. And I think the U.S. were deserving winners today. I think they did more to earn this victory than Japan can have any claim to have done so.
Is Seb making excuses here, Ali? Because the US are a better team than Japan, and yes, you can pass the ball however many thousand times you like, but at the end of the day, it's about what happens in the final third, where they just didn't really offer anything, certainly throughout much of this tie.
No, they didn't. But I don't think Japan really capitalized on their final third, appearances either, and entries into the final third. I think that they created really good chances, but weren't able to execute them properly. And this is what happens when you are late in the game and it only takes one chance and one opportunity, and the U.S. was able to put the ball in the back of the net. And that was the difference today. And I think the front three, yes, although they did look sluggish, they did more. We kept possession. Yes, they were, passive passes, mainly sideways and backwards, because it was difficult to break the Japan team down. But ultimately, in the end, U.S. came through with the victory, and that's what matters. It doesn't always have to look pretty. You just have to win.
Tell me more about Trinity Rodman, Seb.
Well, I'm in D.C., so I get to see her every week with the Washington Spirit. What's interesting about her is that she hasn't really, at any point in the last couple of years, as dominant as she's been in the league, been able to take that form to the international level. And while Sophia Smith and Mallory Swanson were scoring a little bit early in the tournament, there's one thing about Trinity's game that I love and that the other two I don't think have as much of, and that's one-on-one ability. And you saw it there in the last play. Granted, it's tired legs, but she'd been on the field a long time too. She's got tired legs. She's still able to make a one-on-one play, which we're losing in women's football, in men's football, everywhere in the global game. You see less players who are able and willing to go one-on-one. She's willing to do it anywhere on the field. And there in that moment, it paid off. And not only did she make the one-on-one play, as we've seen so many times before, but then she finished it with just an absolute golazo. So I think, she now joins Sophia Smith and Mallory Swanson as having had kind of signature games in this tournament. You got that front three firing, Dan, as you head to the semifinals. I think the U.S. has to feel really, really good right now.
What's interesting, Ali, as Seb mentioned, obviously we're just 3 days away from the semi-final, is that Emma Hayes seems quite reluctant to make any sort of substitutions. Obviously, the 3 coming in extra time in this tie. How much of a hindrance could that be, given the short span between games?
Yeah, it could cause some issues, as you saw today. The team looked a bit tired. They looked a little bit sluggish. I think maybe Emma could have made a few changes against Australia last game, so that a few players could have felt a little bit more refreshed, but this is what tournament football is. This is what you sign up for. This is what is expected, and you want your best players out on the field. And so I think the momentum was carrying through this game. It's difficult to change that and adjust anything because you want the consistency to be there. You want this momentum to stay, and they've been playing really well together. They've been gelling right at the correct time, and you don't want to adjust anything to kind of create any mishaps in that opportunity to continue to be successful at this level that they've been playing at. It's been way too brilliant. And I think, yes, with a few injuries and then the yellow card accumulation by Sam Coffey caused, those changes to happen. But hopefully moving into this game, they can get some rest, they can sleep well, they can get the proper nutrition and hopefully perform, the way that they performed in the group stage, because that is the level that they're going to need to be at in order to beat Canada or Germany.
Does she not trust her bench, Seb?
I mean, the reality is the bench is very thin. Ali mentioned Sam Coffey suspended. The Olympics has a stupid rule that when somebody's suspended, you can't replace them with one of the alternates on the bench. So the U.S. only had 17 on the bench today. I was surprised that she waited until the 90th minute to get at least the first sub onto the field. I certainly thought at the end of regulation the U.S. looked very tired. But I just think the reality is here, you got a lot of versatile pieces in your 18-player roster at an Olympic tournament, but you might not have the next best center back in the pool or the next best midfielder. So if you're going to somebody on the bench, it may well be in an emergency. But I'd also say this, Dan, everybody else in the tournament has only 18 players, and anybody they're going to face in the semifinals has been playing in just as many games in just as many days as the United States. This is a tournament of attrition. And I think anybody that the U.S. would face could potentially be dragging as well, whether it's Canada or Germany, because they've been through their own runs on this tournament. So to me here, the United States may not be the deepest team, but nobody in this tournament is. That's just the way the Olympics wants it, with only 18 players allowed to travel.
We still don't know, of course, who the US will face in the semi-finals. It'll either be France and Brazil. That game has gone to extra time. That remains 0-0 at the moment with 10 minutes to go. Sorry, Canada-Germany is who the US will face. That's going on at the moment. Meanwhile, Spain, with quite a comeback against Colombia. Colombia were 2-0 up. Spain, though, would score 2 goals late on to force it into extra time. No goals there, and we went to penalties. And in the end, it is Spain who go through via pens. They await the winner of France and Brazil. And this would have been quite the upset, wouldn't it, Ali, if indeed Spain had got knocked out?
Yeah, that was a huge scare for everyone involved, and including myself. I was quite surprised at the scoreline at the time, because 2-0 is definitely probably one of the most difficult, leads to keep. And we saw that towards the end, Spain just wore Colombia down. They obviously had more, final pass entries than Colombia, even though Colombia did take their opportunities and their chances on the transitional moments and score those 2 brilliant goals. But unfortunately, Colombia just couldn't hold up until the very end, where Spain made a few subs. It kind of adjusted the personnel, it adjusted the mentality. And I think, scoring, I think Jenny Hermoso scored in the 79th minute, which then gave them that, motivation to want to get that tying goal. And then they knew immediately they'd be able to outrun and outlast Colombia in the overtime period. So brilliant start by Colombia, but it's so difficult when you have, a few players go out, one from injury, and then Caicedo had to step out as well. And so that kind of changed the game for them. Once again, you're looking at a team that might not have as much depth as, any other team in the tournament. And so that was really difficult to see, even though they put up a brilliant game. I thought, they were clinical. Their defense was strong. Spain had a difficult time breaking them down. And that's why you saw the late goals from Spain towards the end of the game. Ultimately, it was a scare at the beginning, but, the world champions came back and were able to win in penalty kicks.
You take a look at this Spain squad, and, no one wants to play them, Seb.
No, absolutely not. And I actually kind of disagree with Ali. I think everybody else left in this tournament was looking at this game 2-0 and saying, please, Colombia, please hold on. Please send Spain out. Because to me, they are by far, right now, on paper, the best team in the tournament. And obviously, we saw the incredible heights that they hit last year at the Summer World Cup. Listen, Colombia, I think, is going to leave this game thinking, man, we should have gone through. And not just because they were up 2-0. There were a couple chances in the second half. One that was like point blank, one-on-one with a Spanish goalie. And Colombia couldn't finish to make it 3-0. And at that moment, you said, man, Spain with us. You just flashed the numbers. I think 33 shots total. You just figured that at some point they were going to break Colombia down. And yeah, now that they're through, let's see how the remaining games play out. But I think right now, for sure, even though France is at home and the U.S. is looking really good, for me, Spain right now, still the favorites in this tournament.
Ali, we'll say thank you very much to you. Just a reminder, you can catch Seb and Ali on Football W, which drops on Tuesday. You can watch them live on ESPN, plus or catch up at 8:30 Eastern.